Rugby podcast. As we've been aware, rugby is happening everywhere.
Abel Musoke, who completes his tackle. Magomu, yet again, finds Angulo! And the offload is complete! The intercept goes to Paul Masandi! He will run! That should be it! That should be it! Oh! That should be it! Oh my God, Nabiliango College! Very, very...
Hello everyone, welcome to this second lockdown edition of Let's Talk Rugby. With me are two gentlemen, and I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves. But to start with me, my name is Joseph Dungu, and I'll start with Ambrose Kakuru. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Ambrose Kakuru. Normally, Coach Payo. What will you do, friend? Let's talk rugby.
You're most welcome, Payo. Payo is a rugby coach, and he's a famous What Will You Do person and an ardent Cobs fan. So we'll go on to Alan Musoke. Please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. And I don't think I need any introductions, really. I'm Alan Sokee, and yeah, I've played rugby, I've coached rugby. I love the sport. I've emceed at the game. So yeah, let's get into it, and let's get into talking about the best sport in the world.
All right. We are going to kick off with, we have a lot to talk about, but I'll start with the trigger. The sevens players are in Monaco right now. The national sevens team, the rugby sevens team are in Monaco. And before that, they had a lot of preparation going on. They had a camp in Kapchora. They had a camp in Dubai and a camp in South Africa that were like to enable them to gel and get ready for the tournament, for the Repechage in Dubai. So the team traveled. However, they had a few players staying back. For example, Aaron Ofoiroth, Pius Ogena, Joseph Aredo. A few stayed back because of the COVID, because they tested positive for the COVID. And it's also known that the coach did not travel with the team, together with the physio. So to kick it off, I would love to start with Ambrose Kakuru. What should we expect from this team at the Repechage?
Thank you, Dungu. I know you have to start with the saddest, so I'll take on the mantle. Honestly, we need to just be hopeful, but expectations should be very low. Our team, yes, it has gone to play, but I don't think we're going to do much. You can even see it from the way the players entered the airport. It is just a tour. They're really going to enjoy themselves, enjoy France, and hopefully come back with experience for another time. I don't believe we are going to exceed our points, because the Olympics should be now the biggest challenge that we should be able to take on. We have won the African Cup twice. We have qualified for the World Cup, Commonwealth, have been there. But the Olympics, I don't think we have taken Olympians this time around. Personally, my opinion, I know a number of them, and I think we have been hit much by this COVID pandemic. I would be surprised if we do well the way most of us as the rugby fraternity expect them to do. If you look at, you've been talking about preparation camps, I think we misused our chances at the preparations, because we've been changing teams after team, and now that COVID has hit the camp, which I'm also surprised that the COVID can hit a camp, and even the physio is also put on. How does the physio also get COVID? I'm told, but is either traveling today or traveled yesterday to catch up with the team. I think already if we had a hard ball to play, now it became harder. Honestly, Repechage, we just have to pray and stand behind the boys as always. But it's going to be a tough one. Honestly, it's going to be a tough one for us.
All right. Thank you very much, Ambrose. We'll move on to the legend, Sokee, sports day guy. To what do you think?
Yeah, the team is in Monaco, and I think I'm a little more optimistic than Ambrose. Yes, we've been hit, but they had a good tour in South Africa where they actually played a lot harder and they played a lot better. And for the first time, I think we had some strong second half performances in South Africa. About the players not traveling, it's sad that both scrum halves have actually stayed behind. So, but knowing how Tolbert has played, because I played under him before, I would anticipate that either Timothy Chisiga or James or Dungu will fit into that scrum half position. He normally likes a very, very quick scrum half because he likes playing off the loop of the first receiver. So I believe we will put. It was nice that Bala has got a chance. It's good to see. It will be good to see how he performs. He's arguably the fittest guy on the squad, I'm told. So of course, save for Aaron Ofoyros. But it is going to be interesting how we put the permutations together. The players who have gone, I thought it's unfortunate that James Odong hadn't made the initial cut. But yes, that's what we have. And seeing how the games have been lined up, I believe we're going to put up some strong performances. We need that first win against Jamaica in our first game. So it depends on how we actually take on our first game.
All right, Alan, thank you very much. I'll stick with you for a bit. You say we are going to have Chisiga and James Odong stepping in, but you realize if you watch the games in South Africa, Kasito and Aaron Ofoyros were actually our enforcers because they kept driving the team forward, yeah? And I fear that we'll miss them so much, most especially those two players. And again as well, I can't fail to mention Pius. For whichever reason, he's not with the team at the moment, but Pius is very essential, and I think you'll agree. So what do you think? What do you think the team will come out? You seem to be so optimistic, so I don't know where your optimistic ends. So explain that.
My optimism comes with the surprise factors, and like I said, we're going to have a new scrum half, and for me that's very, very key. Yes, Adrian and Aaron Ofoyros get us forward a lot. However, Timothy Chisiga does the same as well. He's a very, very positive player, and if you notice how he played in South Africa, he was one of those people who was really attacking the line. So if you put him at scrum half, and then the fact that he's also a fullback, then his sweeping abilities come to the fore naturally to him, as opposed to Aaron, and maybe Adrian has just a little bit of it. But in terms of the general play, Pius Ogena will be a big miss, I think, because he is one of the stalwarts of the team, and his hard playing just gets us forward. But hey, just like I said, I want to see Bala play. I want to see Vimbo eventually come out of his shell. Norbert has been showing flashes here and there of what it is that he can do. So I think the team has a different make, and the people who are there, if they just manage to take care of the ball a little better, which has been our biggest problem. We've had two faults mainly, that is receiving kickoff and taking care of one ball. We tend to kick it away too much. If we take care of it a little better, our ball goes to hand. I believe we have enough pace on that team to actually worry of teams there. It is really about us trying to take care of our ball. I think that has been the biggest message. Also, our defense. It's been too easy for teams to cut right through us. Unfortunately, Aaron Ofoyros misses the most tackles in the game. So, especially when he's at sweeper position, he doesn't just know how to cover those angles very well. But again, let's look at how it's going to go, because I am optimistic that we have the best players out there. Apart from Pius, I don't think anybody else has been left behind who should be on that team. It's up to Timothy Chisiga, up to Norbert Okenyi to get us those points. And for once, I'd like to see Philip not kick a ball away during the build-up to when we have it.
Right. Before I call on Ambrose to respond, because I already know he has a lot to respond about what you've been saying, I'll want to make a few remarks. You realize the 7th squad has potential to even be deeper than this. We shouldn't be highlighting we are missing Sokee, we are missing Kakuru because of this and that. We should be at a position with the tournaments we've played in, with the time and money, facilities, and all of that we've invested. We should be able to have a huge pool or a huge sample space to pick from and not really miss some of these players. So Kakuru, take it on from there.
But Dungu, what have we invested really? If the way you see, it seems like the little water we have given the boys and the training facility is all we have to save ourselves. If I'm just to pick up from Sokee, Sokee is right. I think being optimistic and hopeful, we have the players, the best players traveled, no doubt about, no point of doubt. If you Pius, no, we shall miss Pius, but you can see even in the solidarity camp, he was out, injured, probably has not recovered yet. I don't know the reason for being dropped, but we have to look ahead. I think Byron Oketayot coming back gives us enough strength to cover the gap left by tentatively Pius, because he comes also with the energy, he has brute force, and he's fit. He's a good tackling machine if he's fit and manages to play. Balagade playing, I think, is good positivity, and I think he really deserves the call. He really looks in shape. He really looks like he's going to drive us forward. I am yet to get convinced by Louis Ochan, so I hope this time around he can put me on his side, because I think he has now got a number of tournaments under his belt and he should be able to drive us forward. Obviously, I was told what Ian Munyani, you see, we don't mention him, so we expect he will deliver at the same point, the same as Isaac Massa's good defense, so we are covered in that area. But point of note, it has to be said, we need our 2 most experienced players to come to the fold, the Okorocha brothers. It is high time we discussed it. We have taken Michael, our veteran of our age and our playmate. We now expect that the leadership and captains should come to the fold. He has been with the team longest, and I think now experience calling on, we need him to lead us to the promised land. It is a chance for him to prove that us, the old dogs, still can back in the child's game. So I think that, and then Philip also needs to step up. I think now it is time for him to stand up and be counted. First few tournaments, he has been showing us flashes and flashes. I think he now needs to know that we depend on him. We expect he needs to carry us forward. We need to go home, and we need him to his superstar status to come through. Okenyi and Solomon Okia, definitely the pass and the tries they have been bagging in over the past seconds were crucial. So I do expect that it will be a good game. But I also expect just a little of team effort. Most times, all our tries do come from individual brilliance. We don't work the ball enough, a mistake. I think we need, as he said, we need to improve mostly on our fielding positions. What do we want to do on set pieces? Kickoffs have been terrible. We have never improved in that area. That's one area I think we keep failing on. There are tries we concede just less than on a kickoff, we concede straight away from a kickoff. So I do think if we worked around there, we would definitely have some shouts of a chance. But also, you also have to put in perspective that Jamaica, last time we played Jamaica, I think we lost. So it's not an easy team as it looks on paper, but also our group is tough. I think Chile and France will give us a run for our money. So we need to tighten our bolts, and the power guy's desire needs to come to the fold. He has been slacking a bit, so we need him to come to the fold. Yeah, that's my take on our performance. But also the squad half, Tisiga, I hope he's 100% fit. He has been, his hamstring has been working up a bit, but he's indeed one of the best brains I think we have on that team. And definitely, I am behind him. I think he will take us through.
All right.
Joseph, I just wanted to talk about the depth, the player depth that you had mentioned before.
Go ahead.
Why we should have more depth and more players. every team has a set of about 5 core players around which everything is built. And if you can count our 5, I think there should be Aaron, there should be Adrian, there should be Michael, there's Philip, and possibly Pius, or maybe Ian Munyani in there. That's 6 players around which everybody else can try to come and feed energy off. And if you lose 2 of those, then it's really going to drop the quality of your squad, however deep country you are, because you're going to look at New Zealand, which keeps changing its squad over and over again, but they do keep at least 4 or 5 players going into each tournament, and that is going into each circuit, going into each 7 series, that do keep the glue together. So we've lost 2 core pieces, and it will be interesting to see how our kickoffs go, because Aaron skies the ball and gives us an ability to contest. So it will be interesting to see. But the players who have gone, like I gave Timothy as an example, because I think that's how Tolbert likes to play his game, because I played under him. Like I said, he wants a very quick scrum half, because then you can loop around and create an extra man. So on the team that is there, I see only Timothy Kisiga and James Odong as scrum halves. I don't see which other player can come in and comfortably play that role in terms of the skill sets that we have.
I just wanted to put you on the spot. You name our starting team. Just name our starting team for the match, and we see if with the strengths and weaknesses we have right. If you were told that.
I think Sokee is forgetting to unmute, but okay.
Hey,
fine.
Sorry. I would name Byron, Isaac Massa, and I would name Byron, Isaac Massa, and Michael Korach in the scrum. Then I would put Timothy Chisiga I'd actually put James Odong at scrum half. At fly half, I would have Philip Wokorach. Center, I would have what's his name? Okia at center and Okenya at the wing.
So Ambrose, take it on. Strengths, weaknesses.
Yes, I agree with the team, especially with Massa and old man of the clan there. But I think Ian should probably be on the starting team for me, though I understand the logic of pace. Okia and but really give us strong pace. Having them flying would be high, but they are suspect at defense, especially Okia's one-on-one defense in the middle has been suspect. So Ian for Okia maybe would be the only difference for me, but the rest of the squad looks thick. And then also maybe in case when Wokorach's old bones give way, we bring in our desire and contain. I think it's okay.
Well, thank you very much. Now, I want to ask you, Ambrose, about what you think of James Odong playing 9. I don't know if he has played in that position before. Do you trust his pass? Do you trust his combination with Philip, that chemistry? Do you think it's really there, or are we just trying out? Because you also realize, now I'm bringing into things, not that fast, but you also realize we've taken part, these players, you talked about investment. I believe much as it's little, I don't know how much resources we've got, but much as the investment may be little, I expect that we should be at a certain level right now. Yes? Are you contented with the level we're at now? Because certain people have hinted on us being comfortable, winning small tournaments and participating and just merely participating at the world level.
Dungu, this debate is I have definitely tried to be on the optimism side, but you're really putting me on the spot to be critical, and I will take it on because it's my character to be controversial and hit the nail on the head. One that I know you are eagerly waiting is one, investment. You see, I think the players have invested their time. The coach have put in their resources. I think we have selected the best players, the core team, I think the clubs have given their players willingly or unwillingly, but I think the players, when it comes to the side of what they can do, they have their preparations have been in sort of, we can say, covered. However, winning a tournament doesn't just come in one day overnight. And that's one thing I think we get wrong. We as a country want to blame Tolly when things go wrong. We want to look at one moment in the game when someone gets yellow carded, but there are signs and symptoms that show you where we are going. We have been at the top end of sevens rugby in Africa, by the way, as a country, and we're not, in fact, playing in the Repechage should even be a sign that we are now in the wrong place. Preparing for this, I had to read what Repechage means. It means it is a chance for losers to get a chance to qualify. That's what Repechage means. And if we are losers now, as former champions, two-time African champions, World Cup participants, it is a clear signal that we are comfortable with the small wins. It is obvious by our record that we only win when we are on African soil, more so in East Africa, because you can see where our cups come. East and Southern Africa is a good poaching ground for us for trophies. So crossing to Europe, I am hoping the tour will not get to the people. The acclimatization may not be easy. Also, when you look at our strategy, what next after Olympics? Does it stop there? If we win and qualify, do we again go back to the drawing board, or is it a try? It looks like as if this is a chance. It doesn't look like we are all invested in going to the Olympics. I don't think even we have had a discussion of what it takes to go to the Olympics, which I must away, surprisingly. So if we win the Repechage, which is a big if, though Alan, I know, will smile at it, but it is going to take all of us to be behind the boys, but also the boys to know that this is a chance to change our lives, not only as a country, but also as a person on an individual basis. Going back to your question on James Odom, I think to make a 70 passing is like a basic requirement. It may not be the Ofuero type of pass, but I think Odom has a pass that can meet the baseline of passing. Because I remember in our days, we could throw the ball. If it can reach the next person, it was good enough. But James Odom, with his added speed and his good tackling, he can, because remember, as a scrum half, you also have to be the sweeper. So it's not only about, you don't only have to look at it in attack sense. I think he's one of the good defenders we have actually with speed. So definitely, if we are to put him at scrum half, I believe we would have hit two birds with one stone. Kept the pace that all but likes in attack, but also covered ourselves in defense. So I think we also need to look at it as twofold, and in offense and defense. And I think he's one of the good tacklers we have. He's also experienced, but also he has come back from a long injury. So I think he wants it. So definitely, I would think that James Odong at scrum half would be an easier choice. Though also combination-wise, we also have to admit, COVID has hit us. This is not the best combinations we could put there. I don't think if Tolbert was given a chance that these are the first combinations he put out there. But he has made it do with what he has, and I think Odong can handle. I think he can manage. I think he's a seasoned player and he can manage.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry to interrupt. Before Sokee comes in, I have a bit of terrible news. It has just broken. The Uganda team has been withdrawn from the Repechage tournament. Just now, I've received the link from Ruben Chiwumuro, and on tapping on it, it says that Uganda men's team has been withdrawn from the World Rugby Sevens Repechage in competition Monaco, following a number of positive COVID results determined during the scheduled arrival testing. So it's much detailed, but I think some of our players might have caught the coronavirus while in Monaco. So I'll share it with you guys so that you can read it. But going forward, so I think guys are on holiday. What do you think, Sokee? You guys are now on full enjoy. But anyway, what do you think should be done in response to what Kakure is saying?
No, well, that has been, well, it's sad that that situation has happened. Guess what? There's no holiday because you're now going to isolation because you're now key contacts. So they're going to keep them in their rooms. They're not even going to get a chance to tour the city. I don't know if a few of the negative ones will be allowed to go watch the games. It's going to be hard for them now. But what next is we the clubs have to go back and groom, because Tolbert will only pick what he sees the clubs have been able to nurture. And I keep saying that the clubs have not yet done enough to give a strong base to the national team. I think we all need to invest as clubs to first get out of Kampala and get players from other areas of the country. And I mean, look at Byron. His stature is such that he's already a built rugby player, and there must be many of those playing Gulu, Kotido, and we just have to now invest in player development as clubs. The more we groom, the easier it is for Tolbert to set up his camps, and that's where the depth will come from. There's no shortcut to it. The sevens money, which Tolbert gets, cannot do magic. The clubs, the 20 or so clubs in the country have to do and give him a shot at the best players that we have in the country. We're not doing that yet, and I think that's where we can step up. It's sad that they can't play in Monaco, but yeah, that's COVID. We just need to pick up ourselves and move.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Thank you, Payo. We'll move on from Monaco now. Allow me to talk about the 15s. Recently, the national team coach, Coach Robert Seguya, was diagnosed with acute leukemia. It's very sad. We'll keep praying for him and keep contributing and urging others to contribute to the cause. But this unfortunate news led to the rise of Makalama, Coach Makalama. He's now the coach for the national team 15s, and he called upon a number of players, 72 actually, but at the moment, recently, in a few weeks back, he retained about 32 of those. And they've been training for some time. They even had the game for the cause of Seguya, and because of COVID, I think they have now stopped, though they had a session on Tuesday and they are done testing for those who had passed the testing. So what do you guys think of the national team 15 side that's trying to regroup and rebrand without the 7 stars? I'll start with you, Sokee.
Well, first of all, it's a big blow not to have your 7th players with you, because they bring extra impetus and extra fitness. But moving on, that list of 32, I haven't seen it, unfortunately. So I can't really comment. I know Brian Makalama as somebody who is strong on getting set pieces right and strong on defense. I hope he has some help with the backs, because I am clear as much as he's coached and as much as he's played, that's an area where I think you will need a lot of help in terms of getting the backline, but the backline going. I hope he has some help there, because I haven't seen who the other tacticians are. But in terms of the 32, it's now the players to just put in the work. It's amid these very tough times where everybody is getting infected. And for the players who fall ill, and being somebody who is recovering from it, it takes a toll on the body. So I hope not many of them will get infected, because it definitely slows everybody down. It slows you down as an individual. So I urge the players who have been selected to keep safe, to mask up, and basically look after themselves as much as they can. For the 32 who have been called for training, I just hope they put in the work, because the Elgon Cup has never been easy. We haven't won in a long time, and Kenya is really, really beefing up. So for them, they've gone leaps and bounds. Now they have the other 20s. They have the Bates Cup coming, and they've been having a few trial games here and there. So it's a feeling of they might be better prepared. The game that the national team had for the Sokee Memorial had lots of youngsters who were trying to claim their places and try to put their hand up to be counted. So we can't look too much into that. Preparations are going to be very, very key, and let's hope COVID won't affect us too much.
Okay, before Payo comes in, let's hold the Elgon Cup bit, or let's pause on the Elgon Cup. And first, I want you, Payo, to respond to Sokee's hopefulness about Makalama. What do you think about him? What do you have to say?
First of all, allow me to first say something about this Repechage thing being cancelled. I also want to first say that it is absurd, highest point, that a team of 12 people cannot be put in camp a week before traveling. For crying out loud, I was saying at the beginning, before it was cancelled, a physio was positive. The coach was positive. Aredo was positive. Adrian, already by the time they traveled, I don't even think they got this European version of COVID. Clearly, it was in the system. There is no reason as to why we could not. Really, you've been talking about investment. At least 2 weeks camp to allow our players be in a camp for 2 weeks, even if it is in a ramshackle hotel somewhere, we travel, at least participate. The worst thing that can happen when a sportsman is getting to the tournament venue and you're not given a chance to showcase your skills. It is so demotivating. And it is up to management, union, and the bosses. It has nothing to do with the players, because the players will still have to board the taxi back home. It is us to keep them safe till they deliver. Now we can't even talk about performances. You see, now they have to be in Monaco for 2 extra weeks on diets, on food which they have not budgeted for. It's going to be tough on them, and recover from COVID, and then come back to Uganda, follow the same rules at the airport. So really, from tour, it's now becoming disaster. But let me just pray that they are safe. You know, this is a pandemic, and really we need to be safe. That said, when I come to the 15th, it is so sad about our stronghold, Robert Seguya, his diagnosis, and we keep praying for him. My heart and the family, we are going to really stand with you as a fraternity. I think he soldiered on with us, battled with him on the pitch, so definitely his battle is one of us, and we believe that we'll go through. But as you said, Brian McCallum, I think it is time for Brian to show. I think he has been gearing up for this job for a long time. He was my coach at 19 very many years ago. He moved on to 121. He has coached the women's. His CV of coaching, I think, puts him in the right place for coaching this team. His temperament is the right, he has the right temperament. He's a good people person. He's calm, though for the Sokees, he's a bit more structured. So he likes a lot of set pieces. That is good for us, the forwards. He likes slow, good, engaging rugby. So for us, the forward is a good game under Makarama. You know you put in the work. Backs won't get too much time to run around. So definitely, if he doesn't have help, you might find us doing back to the PDs, the 32 PDs that he likes. But I think he's a good fit for the national team. I just need to know the pink cast, because we do have a number of players and talent coming through. So I do think we can do a good job in 15s. That said, our scouting and preparations, as Sokee was saying, if Byron is coming from Gulu, already built, imagine that West Nile, which potentially gives us the core of the guys who bash us around. We have Wadia. He beat us until he was 40. But West Nile doesn't have any club, as far as I know, that plays rugby. When every time I go to Arua, I barely find any club that plays rugby. So you can imagine all the raw talent that you miss from West Nile as a region, completely. Not even only, even Maibachiga, okay, we are not very few, we have very few who play, but the Kabale region of people who they say carry a lot of energy don't play. So definitely it means we are hard-lined getting players who are not already conditioned for the game. But the players we do have definitely put out their hearts. So that one also I commend them. Now, Elgon Cup, you have put it on hold. But look at the 32 people who have been called in to come. I have always argued that Uganda doesn't have a national team. We have players selected to play for the country every time a tournament comes around. And I think that is wrong. I think we need to have people who we know these are national team players. And it is not based on form or class. I'll give a case in point. You all follow your All Blacks, I'm seeing you in the Absas. They do have a core team. And regardless of their form, when the World Cup comes around, when the tournament comes, they will call their players. I remember back then there was a player called Kevin Mialamo, I think. He had not played at club for a long time, but when the World Cup came, the call came and said, Kevin, you're my guy. And he went and won a World Cup, and he did deliver. But for us, we are going to give cups to every shining star that comes around. Anybody that can shake around will get a collar. And that shows that we do not groom for takeover. And that's my biggest worry. If you look at the number of Ugandans who have 1 cup for the country or 2 cups, barely 10, are very many, as opposed to having the consistency and structure that comes to the national team. This game they had, the tryout game, as we can't read too much into it really, because I don't think they were core members playing. I think it was just a charitable event, as we can say. But going forward, we cannot be having a national team that is rebuilding every 2-3 years, 1-2 years. We need to have a core line of players who meet a certain standard where we can maintain it and then add to them. You cannot be making debuts every year. We can't be giving debutants a chance every year. At most, the national team should be having at least 3 to 4 debutants who come on in the last minute just to shake off somebody. But if we're going to start every tournament 32 new names, then the 32 meet the cut, then you start again. No consistency, no line calls, no pressure. International rugby is a different ballgame from our club level rugby. Different tactics come into play, pressure, handling pressure. You can even lose even before going onto the pitch. It's not just about being skilled, razzle-dazzle. No, it is a bit, and that is what we need to work on: consistency and build it into a team. A well-drilled team. Most of the team is getting to the climax of their careers. So we do need to start seeing how we are going to phase out as we phase in. But we cannot phase out, phase in. Every year we are bringing new fullbacks, new wingers. It doesn't work that way. We need to have some level of consistency, and then we add to it based on performance. I think we just need to get the selection right. And then we also need to stop I think the criteria for selecting needs to be reviewed. Selecting the entire team, I think we may have to get some sort of a committee or, so that we choose the base for this country. I think Kenya is taking us far. We are the first African.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You're making very many comments, and I'll interrupt you right when you say the selection. Are you trying to say the selection is poor? Are you trying to say the people selecting are biased? Are you trying to say the people selecting are influenced by any higher authorities, or what are you trying to say? Just a highlight on that before you continue.
I am just trying to say they are limited by the choices. If you're one person making a team, and for example, if I favor tacklers, definitely if I'm looking on the pitch, I'm going to sideline all other attributes except tackling. So my tacklers will be the first choice. And if you have help, because these are things we need to see, we are competing with Kenya. Kenya in the region is taking us far and wide. We were the first African champions before them. Okay, the champion is here on the forum, so he will smile. But from them, we are going backwards. And for them, they're leapfrogging, they're going forward, which means, what are they doing right? Kenya brings the side B, they still beat us. Kenya brings the side C, they still beat us. The depth in Kenya, yes, is a lot, but are we fronting our best positions for the numbers? And I'm just saying that it could be coming from selection. Not that they're insufficient, but if we are leaving it to one person than a team of selectors, not necessarily to be national team coaches. No, I think all other coaches can pitch in and say, let's select this bunch of players to go and play. Not 72 you find, because I saw the 72 who were selected initially, they had Minor, I saw Minor, no offense to Minor, but Minor played 2 games. He had barely, so how he made the cut was questionable, because at least we need to know that, you have been monitoring. And I'm not saying they're not good, but I'm just saying it just, what kind of criteria does it mean for you to get called up? Back in the day, they would send a letter to call you for the national team. It will be sealed and they say you have been selected for the national team. So it was not a given, but now it looks like it's given. That's my view.
Sokee, unfortunately, I may not. Time, guys, time. You see, I don't want this to dwell on, but Payo makes a lot of valid comments. I think I'll keep engaging you guys about that selection criterion talk, national team, debutants and all. Very nice stuff, Payo, you mentioned there. But let's go on. And I mean, this is our last segment for this particular meeting, particular podcast. The Lions Tour in South Africa. It's happening this year finally. COVID, hope the Monaco saga doesn't happen, man. And our South African guys are quarantined. They can't tour, they can't do what. But well, the last time this tour happened in 2009, South Africa won it. We won it, bro. And 2-1. I'm sorry, I'm biased. I'm South African, but I won't say much. You guys will take it on. 2-1 to the Springboks. There are also those small test matches they usually play. but the Lions won 6 of them, I think. Yeah, that particular year. So what do you guys think this year? Sokee, I'll start with you. Payo has been saying a lot.
Well, it should be you South African fans would like to see the world champions on the pitch again, and yeah, you can gloat, you can gloat. I think it's going to be 12 years. So one place to play on the Lions squad, or any of the South Africans would have one chance to play against the Lions. To be an interest of rugby, it would be nice to see what Warren Gatland can come and do against the world champions. And he's basically trying to select players who he feels will just go out there and not get bullied by the Springboks. So it's really going to be a very interesting test. The first games against the different clubs will also be nice for us to see, just to be able to get a feel of how the tactics might play out and how they fan out. But what really counts is how the Springboks handle the physicality of the Lions, because if you come and put all these guys together, then it becomes a whole different monkey. So it will be nice to see how the Springboks can actually manage, because I believe it's going to be the tests have not really been spread by very many points. I mean, normally like 6-7 points in between them in terms of the scores. So it's a whole different breed of Lions. So it will really be interesting to see how the Springbok can manage the physicality of the Lions. So, well, they say you have the strongest guys in the park, but I think it's going to be very, very stern tests come July.
Payo, before you say, he's saying this is the strongest breed of the Lions. Yes, the Springboks don't have Johan Vermeulen, the number 8, but what do you think? What do you have to say? Sokee says this is the strongest breed of Lions.
You know, when it comes to the Lions, I am always caught between brute force and the skill. And now this time around, both teams look to be going to apply brute force. You know, everyone is going to be a real forward smash up. Tactically, one who gets it tactically on the day will win. I'm not expecting a high razzle-dazzle game, so I'm expecting real brute, slow, engaging power. But I think the team that the Lions have selected can give the world champions a run for their money. The truth is, SA, you are the defending champions. You are the world defending champions, so everyone is out there gunning for you. And I think the selection on paper looks good. And if they deliver, you will have a run for your money, especially after pretending to be playing your Rainbow Cup. And I think this will be a good test. I think it will be a good test game. I am rooting that you're beaten. That is not out. Your chin, you're always smiling. So definitely, at least somebody should just take off that smile off your face for once. But the Lions definitely do tour well. They do play. They do have their moments. But also, you can't rule out that depending on the type of referee you get in these tournaments is how you play. If you get a Northern Hemisphere ref with their interpretation of the law, the box kick and the slow, you get challenges. If you get a Southern Hemisphere ref with the interpretation of the breakdown, you get advantages. So you definitely need to be very careful with that. Especially the refs from France, those have their own interpretations of the law. You can easily be caught on the offside and penalty side, so which is a bit hard. But I think it's going to be a good test. I think we definitely miss that Johan Vermeulen. I know his energy and runs were going to be expected, but I think it's going to be a good game. Let's just wait. I know July will be a rugby month.
I assure. So I'll stick with you slightly. It's going to be 3 test matches. What do you think for those 3 test matches? You've said the South Africans are losing. Are they losing all the 3 test matches, Payo?
I didn't say South Africans are losing. I said I would want them to lose, but you stop smiling. Those are 2 different things. But my wants and my wishes, I do think South Africa will win. I think the test will be 2-1 South Africa.
Sokee, take it away.
Of course, everybody is waiting for the squad tomorrow. It has been the Springboks, and well, it's a big deal for the players who get selected for this tour. I think they will have a lasting impression. I expect the Springboks to win 2-1. However, I expect the Lions to win the first game in Johannesburg, because they'll have been off a round of series of trial games. So I think they'll be more match fit for game one. But I expect the Springboks to take 2-1. My prayer is the Lions win game one, then the Springboks win game two, and then we have a penalty game which actually decides something. The last time the Springboks went on to win the first two, and then the last game they just threw in their A team, and that's how the Lions got their one win. But let's hope that can be competitive, and the third test can actually really matter for a winner, and that's all the fans, we neutrals, can really hope for. It's going to be tough, because of course I don't want South Africa to win it. I don't want the Springboks to win it.
I just wanted Dungu to say, before Dungu, Alan, I just wanted Dungu to tell us the jerseys we are wearing, if we can tell the clubs.
Guys, let's be easy. It's not easy being easy, but I'm new to the game. I'll keep learning from you guys. So guys, we've spoken for a long time. I guess we should say our parting remarks. I'll start with you, Payo. We're in a very trying time. COVID, family is trying to stay safe. Your remarks on that?
Yeah, guys, I think we need to stay safe. COVID is real. We need to keep our mental strength, mental health upright. The sad news coming through our phones, our messages is too much sometimes. So you need to call up your friends, convert someone. It's not easy. These are trying times. But let's keep safe, keep following the SOPs. And I think we shall soon be back to where we want to be. And let's keep enjoying rugby.
All right, Sokee.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to pray for those who are down with the virus, and those with family members who are down with the virus. We pray that God stretches out a healing hand to you. On a bright note, the virus and the disease is beatable. I'm speaking from experience. I've been down for the last 2 weeks, basically just getting back onto my feet, myself with my wife. So it's beatable, and you can cure, and you just have to keep positive, hydrate, follow the SOPs, and also seek medical attention. Self-medication is discouraged as much as you can. So everybody out there, don't fret, don't share disturbing messages all the time. There are messages of hope and messages of recovery that we can actually start circulating. And I'm here to tell you that yes, it hurts, and COVID is real, but you can actually recover and you can be well. You just need to look after yourself very well. Like to reach out again to Robert Seguia. We are praying for you, and we know you will make it. You're a fighter. So Robert, keep heart, and everybody, let's just keep contributing as much as we can. Robert is fighting for his life, and we are also positive that he's going to make that through. We lost Gaston Onono this week to COVID. We lost Otema. People close to us are actually in difficult situations. So let's look out for each other. Drop a line to your friends just to check on them and find out how they are doing, and let's just keep it together. As Bobby Wine says. And yeah, other than that, let's just look out for the interesting rugby on Saturday. On Saturday there is going to be the finals of Trans-Tasman Rugby Cup. That's Highlanders and Blues. Unfortunately, my Crusaders did not make it through. So that final is there on Saturday at 10. So there's a lot of rugby on telly that we can look out for, as we wait also for the squad announcement for the Springboks. Yeah, let's keep safe, let's keep healthy, but above all, let's enjoy the little friendship, and let's keep in those SOPs are key, and we shall be fine. For your information, Dungu, this is an Africa Leopard jersey. this is one of the tours to France. So this is the jersey. Otherwise, for all the people out there, thank you for watching, and yeah, let's just keep enjoying.
All right, it's been a pleasure having you two gentlemen. I must say I'm learning a lot. I'm exceedingly humbled and profoundly honored. We'll keep in touch, and guys, please, let's observe the standard operating procedures. Wear your mask correctly, sanitize, observe social distance. Guys, I must say it's been a pleasure, and we'll link next time. We have more in stock. We'll keep analyzing even World Rugby as well. And stay safe. Lots of love.